I came across a bunch of ancient maps while researching something else, and drawn on them was the Garden of Eden. When I cross-referenced all 4 maps, they showed that the Garden of Eden was in the same place. So I told myself, I am going to find it. And I did. I used the clues in the Bible and these maps, and I found the Garden of Eden. I traveled east from Jerusalem, as it is the starting point and known as the center of the world in Christianity. When I traveled east, I discovered the 4 rivers as well. I traveled past mountains, through deserts, crossed vast rivers, and learned more about ancient cities to find the Garden of Eden. Note there is no Pacific Ocean on these maps as Mesoamerica, and the Pacific Ocean wasn't known in Europe until the 15th century. Even Wikipedia confirms the garden's proximal location. Yes, I found the Garden of Eden in Asia, but I wanted to know why there are not more copies of these maps around, as these maps spanned over 300 years. I did a little bit of research, and I found out in 1930s during the Allied bombing of the UK many of these maps were destroyed and seized. That reminded me of certain events throughout ancient China, in particular, the burning of the books around 200 BC, ordered by Emperor Qin, the same emperor China is named after. The main reason he ordered the burning of all the books was because he wanted to be known as the ultimate ruler of Asia, the creator of all things. This can be confirmed as Emperor Qin is credited for the Great Wall and building the Mausoleum Pyramid, where he laid to rest. And throughout history, the burning of the books continued to happen. What did the rulers learn from these events? It looks like they learned if you burn all the books of history, then history can be rewritten and told in his story. The burning of books happened 6 times before the Common Era, or BCE. Each time the books were burned was for power or religious reasons. But it only happened 6 times during that time, while in the last 100 years, the burning of books has occurred over 81 times. But there was a total of 162 instances where books were forced to be burned and you were a criminal for owning books. Some people were punished or thrown in jail, some people were tortured or killed, and some were buried alive. All that for owning a book. 162 times the burning of books was ordered by existing governments throughout our history. If those instances didn't happen, we would know who built the pyramids and Stonehenge. What happened to the Tower of Babel, where the location of the Garden of Eden is, and so much more. These remaining Mappamundi maps have survived 800 years of threats from being burned. So, if they were not hidden, they would have been destroyed, because the information stored on them shows the Garden of Eden's location in Asia and other places too, which goes against the agenda of what we have been told to believe. So there is manipulation going on with our governments and religions, and I just gave a brief insight into how it started thousands of years back, and why today people argue over minor details like the Bible and the Quran. The origin of greed is food and lack of it. Don't be greedy, and you will be happy with what you have. Strange that it is me, chosen to find the Garden of Eden's location, as I don't read the Bible or the Quran. I am not an atheist, nor have I studied Hindu or Buddhism. But I know the way. Ask me any question. If I can answer it, I will. I have also debunked archaeology, and in one such instance as this map, as archaeology wants you to believe the people of the Pacific had to cross the Atlantic to build the pyramids. As you can see with this map I made, what they said ain't true and you need to question their motives. As this route shows, they never had to cross the Atlantic Ocean at all. And while researching the routes of the Pacific to confirm the pyramid builders traveled this way, I found pyramids in New Zealand and megalithic structures all throughout the Polynesian islands. But obviously, archaeology is going to narrate a story of the natural formation of this site spanning over thousands of years, and it just grew out from the ground in that shape in the middle of that leveled-out terrain and convince you it's not a pyramid or a tomb. I only found these pyramids as New Zealand is along the route of the Pacific, and the ancient people had to have seen New Zealand while traveling the ocean for thousands of years. It's just logic, man. While doing that, I've discovered the Tower of Babel in the ancient capital of Persia. The story surrounding the tower revolves around a deity named Yahweh. Further investigation led me to an ancient coin featuring Yahweh, where I also identified a Moai head from Easter Island. Surprisingly, no archaeologist has noticed this before, making me potentially the first person in the world to recognize it in over 2,500 years. That's all for now, folks.